Good everyone, welcome to this video, I slipped my tongue there. And today we have the review on the Ki-84 Otsu. Now the Otsu is one of those aircraft that makes the next one, the 6.3 Ki-84, seem a tad pointless, personally. And obviously I'm going to spade it, because I want to spade all the props and everything. And then eventually spade all jets. It's like the same with tanks. Spade all rank 4 and then move on to rank 5 and stuff like that. That's just how I want to do it. So the Ki-84 Otsu is at battle rating 5.7, same as the TAR, same as the 109K, and the Ki-84 fills a pretty good role. This is more of a dogfighting aircraft. Now, you're not going to beat Spitfire, as I've already said, you're not going to beat Spitfires in this aircraft. But other than that, you can pretty much beat everything you find in a turning engagement. That's where the Ki-84's job comes in. It's got good enough performance to climb up to altitude, so you can engage in high altitude dogfights. And you can also engage in a bit of ground strike due to its 250 kilogram capable bomb load. I'm going to be showing off the bomb load in a moment. However, the Ki-84 Otsu has a key problem. The guns. Now, those of you who have never used Ho-5 cannons, they are very hit and miss. What do I mean by that? Well, the Ho-5 cannon is one of those cannons that it either works or it doesn't, to put it simply. Now, obviously, that can depend on your ping, and with the Ho-5 obviously having 150 rounds per gun, because you've got 4 of them, 600 rounds in total. I'd love it if it was 600 rounds a piece. But the fire rate is, I believe, 750 rounds a minute. And due to the fact that there's simply 4 guns eating through just 600 rounds in total, your ammo is going to go quick. And with the cannons being pretty bad above 400 to 500 meters, you've got to get in close. And against bombers, that's a dangerous game to play. Because obviously we all know what Japanese aircraft are like. They burn the moment they're hit, and to be honest, that's the same story for the Ki-84. This thing does have self-sealing fuel tanks, but even so, it's not going to make a huge difference in the long run. So, let's quickly go over the bomb load, go over the belts that I recommend and everything, and we'll just go from there. So you can take 2 types of bombs, 250 kilogram bombs, or 250 kilogram bombs. These are the ones you're going to want to use. However, if you're more of if you want to take bomb load, even though, I mean, it doesn't make a huge difference. If you want to take bombs and still be a fighter, take the 50s, because surprisingly, they don't affect the aircraft's performance all that much. And with the Ki-84 being as maneuverable as it is, it's not going to make a huge difference. And, well, you can basically outturn everything apart from a Spitfire. And this is where it's going to be a bit, oh lord, is all I'll say. Default rounds. A third of your bullets aren't even usable, that being practice shells. Now, there are a good amount of, shall we say, different belts that you could potentially use. However, my recommendation is omni-purpose, aka universal. You get 2 HEF, I, and you get an AP round. The AP round will work better against bombers. The HE round will work against most targets. Due to the high fire rate of the cannons, you can put down a lot of range and a lot of damage downrange quickly. But obviously, due to the high fire rate, you're going to be having a lot of problems with ammunition. But that's not the only thing I had in this battle in terms of ammo and stuff like that. I had a Rommel. I mentioned this in the TAR videos. I encountered a Rommel. Now, for those of you that don't know what a Rommel is, a Rommel is essentially a person who tries to act like they're in charge, like they are commanding the battle, like this is some sort of Company of Heroes 2 game, or like a Civ game, or another example, what is it? Total War Warhammer, like you're the general, you're meant to be in charge of your team and stuff like that. And no one in this battle, including the AR-234B2 jet pilot, was really happy with him. Only me and jet pilot barked up basically saying, "Shut up." And the guy didn't like that, which you're going to see. So let's quickly go over the stats of the aircraft and everything that I got up to. And, well, it's not impressive. I mean, I mostly ground pounding this thing to get points, and obviously it was a quick spade due to how little there was to actually spade on the aircraft. 6 death, 22 kills, 68 ground targets, and 8 ships, which were landing craft. Pretty reasonable. I mean, obviously due to the ammo, you're probably not going to want to engage landing craft due to the amount of ammo they soak up. But this thing's not bad. It's just the fact that at the BR that's 0.6 higher, you trade 2 20 mils for 2 30 mils. And you get the same level of performance. If you look, Ki-84 Co, 430 miles an hour. Ki-84 Otsu, 430 miles an hour. Ki-84 High, that would probably be 480 or 430 miles an hour. And it's at 6.3, where it can fight some pretty damn dangerous lower tiered jets. Great job with your matchmaking. Same with the GA-N1 Renzan. This thing shouldn't be 6.3. It's a World War II bomber prototype. And you're telling me that that thing's supposed to fight jets? No. Fix your freaking PRs, Gaijin. The Ki-83, this thing's a monster. So I'm not surprised, but... oh dear. But anyway, let's go see what this Rommel was like during this game. This isn't the best game that I had in the Ki-84. I'm going to fully admit that. I could have easily shown you a pretty nice one on Prep for Hokkaido. Could have easily shown that. But yeah, this guy, and his name is Hishi Batman, which I don't think Batman's this much of a prick. I mean, I don't really watch DC films anymore because, well, it's all about the Marvel. I'm afraid I'm more of a Marvel sort of person, and I'm gonna keep the chat on for this game. So, and there you go, straight away. Remember, alt is life, so stay high no matter what. And the jet pilot, very sorry about that. This guy is pretty much going to back me up on my claims. And I haven't responded yet. He says if you have people playing this high into the game, you think they already know this. And, well, Mr. Rommel doesn't seem to understand that. Ironically, in the majority of situations, Rommels are the kind of people who, well, let's just say they don't understand the ironic part and they are mostly useless to the team alive. And yet they continue to be a Rommel. So his Rommel attitude doesn't really start yet, like fully. Trust me, it gets worse. And in this battle, obviously, we're fighting against 2 enemy jets, a Yak-17 and a J-21RA, which is one of the Swedish jets. That's the pure fighter variant. The Yak-17, I couldn't give any less of a shit about. The Swedish jet, I've never really fought them, so I'm always eager to try and engage them and take them down. Because obviously, I don't know what they're capable of. I mean, I think Erwin's working on a video for the A-21RA. But he tells me they're not very good, for the most part. That's what he tells me anyway. And here comes this Chinese Tu-2S-44. He's going to be a bit brave, obviously. I'm not going to go head on with a fucking Tu-2. That's just asking for trouble. Many people underestimate Tu-2. I don't get why, because it's a good aircraft. But the one thing you don't want to do is go head on against 220mm cannons. So I dodge out of the way. And I just let him keep on going. Which he continues to do so. And well, that's all he's going to do to the game. He's going to bomb his targets. He's going to get some points to spade it, because I think he was working on spading it. So good on you, Neob, or however you say that name. So at this point, our team is, we're still climbing at the moment. Obviously, I engaged the Tu-2, so I briefly leveled off, but obviously I'm continuing back to climb. Now what you're going to remember is the TAR gets an air spawn, as I've already mentioned in the previous TAR videos. And obviously we have a jet right there, that Yak-17. And Hishi Batman responds, still, it's better to remind them. They don't need reminding. I put in chat, I'm fairly sure they don't need reminding. Obviously, due to there being a jet, we probably want to deal with the jets, because obviously they're going to be a bit of a problem if the pilots are good. And this is where he starts being the Rommel for pure sake of it. Look at this team, all low. No. The only plane that's low is the Arado, and he's dropped his bombs. So I put in chat, if you want to be an Erwin Rommel, go play Company of Heroes 2 for God's sake. That's what FGS means, if anyone's on culture and doesn't know what it means. But if you look, he's climbed up to a ridiculous altitude. He's at 20,000 feet. He has no points. He's not tried to engage any aircraft. I've at least gone for the Yak-17, but obviously he dove down, so I thought, okay, I'll leave him for the 1 and 9. And there's the J-21. And I'm continuing to climb. And he puts, I think they do, half our new players. No, we have level 40. The lowest was level 45. That's not new player. And this is how thick-headed this guy is. I don't get what his attitude is, because I think he was like level 80. I correct him in chat saying, if there were new players, they wouldn't be at 5.7 to 6.7, which is, again, I'm just pointing it out. And Sean, the buddy boy, the guy in the Arado, just does a simple up. Because that's all that's required in that regard. And I know I don't like encouraging don't do a witch hunt on this guy, please don't. But this guy's still a prick, so just make sure to keep an eye on him. So, in terms of the flights, this was my 4th flight in the aircraft, and this is where I got the majority of my ground targets in one go. There was another match on, what was it? It was this really large map, I can't remember the name of it. And that's where I got about 20 ground targets as well. The rest were spread out across the games that I had to spade the aircraft. And I enjoyed the Ki-84. It was a nice memory coming back to the Ki-84, because obviously I love the Co, even though its repair cost was insane. This thing's about 14k, which isn't as bad. But I've now climbed up to about 18,000 feet. And Hishi Batman is engaging a P-51H. Hooray! So, let's jump ahead a little bit, just to cut down the time to get to the P-51H. So the TAR-152 at this moment has been crit in the tail, however it is not on the elevators. Obviously the Ki-84 is one of the faster Japanese aircraft, especially at these altitudes. If you look at my airspeed indicator, I've got quite a good bit of speed behind me. And I don't think this guy realises that I'm coming in to help him, because I think he's just being he's just wanting his team to take the fall for him. And at this point, I think, okay, even though you're a prick, I'm just going to engage either way. He misses a shot in the head-on, the P-51H scores another crit, this time on his oil. And obviously, limited burst there, but you can just see how ineffective the cannons were at that angle. But once you get in close, these guns are devastating. These are short-range cannons for definite, and that's my first and only kill. And guess what? He's still going to be a prick, even though I saved his life. Oh dear. But if you look, both his wings are shot up, his elevators are his stabilizers are shot up. Now there was only 2 enemy bombers left, a B-29 and that Tu-2S we saw earlier and had a brief encounter with. So at this point I figured, okay, I don't really want to engage B-29. I don't recommend engaging bombers in this aircraft, by the way. And the Tu-2S has already made it back to his airfield. So Sean has obviously been paying attention, even though he's in the jet, and obviously Arado's on isn't the easiest thing to spade. Well, especially the B2. But it's just where this is where it's going to get a bit more heated in the chat. Zai S says, "How long do you play War Thunder?" And if we just take a brief look, he's level 75. But this is where it gets funny. All he ever plays is German. Quite clearly he does a lot of Rommeling. And he's pretty crap for the most part. So at this point, I start cleaning up the ground targets. And he's going to start trying to take digs at me for doing that. Now, bear in mind, I had the radiator, I had the belts, I had the compressor, and I was working on the engine in this battle. So obviously, I wanted to get some points to Spade it. And he puts in chat in all caps, tail damaged. Yeah, so go back to base. You have that option. You don't have to scream at your team for it. Oh dear. And there goes Sean in his AR-234. He's actually going to do pretty well for our team. He's going to bomb out all 3 bases, I think. And he starts screaming in chat again, bomber here. So, go deal with it. You don't need to scream at it. We'll see the bomber when you encounter it. I put in chat, then go deal with it instead of screaming at everyone. We know there's a bomber up. There's no reason to keep screaming at the team and being a Rommel. Oh dear. Now I don't know what armoured cars they are, but I'd love to see one of those in War Thunder. They look quite interesting. If anyone happens to know, please let me know in the comments below. I couldn't really identify what armoured car it was, because I've never seen that armoured car before. He then puts in chat, dude, STFU, obviously meaning shut the fuck up. And this is where I usually, as per usual, come back with my comebacks. So, who's ready for a comeback? In approximately 3, 2, 1, and boom. Nope, I'm not that good with my prediction, but I'm gonna shut him down in a minute. He puts, turn off your chat or blacklist me if it annoys you so much. And here we go. I love the fact that you're telling me that. Yeah, no one asks for your advice, and you don't like it when people chat back to your BS. He's not gonna like that, ladies and gentlemen. He is not gonna like that at all. And there goes Sean in his jet. He's just bombed out his 2nd base for the game. And he's doing pretty okay to say that he's in a Narado with no guns. He's doing what he can for the team. And obviously I'm just going to continue the ground pound, and this is going to piss off Mr. Rommel. I'm sorry, but why would I engage B-29 in this thing? It's like poking a bear with a stick. And the T-2S is pretty fast, so yeah. And then Sean points out we don't need to worry about a B-29. We're correct, because, well, the T-2S has bombed out 1 base, I believe, and the B-29 a lone B-29 cannot kill the airfield in 1 run. A lone B-29 cannot. But is this going to stop Mr. Rommel? It ain't. He's still going to be a prick. Now at this point, I believe his engine has actually seized up. Yes, his engine's failed due to the oil. Obviously, he was spraying oil earlier. And, yeah. Obviously, Sean gets the designation of his aircraft wrong. He thought it was a C, it's actually a H. So, he meant to say MK108, but that's fair enough. Obviously, I'm a bit damaged from the Russian AAA trucks. You can even see that even the Russian AAA trucks are actually quite a danger to the Ki-84. But at this point, I'm low on ammo. I've got to be really considerate with the ammo that I have. But I'm just doing my thing. And he puts in chat, dealt controlled damage. We don't know what he means by that. And he crashes into the ground because he's too busy typing. I did love Sean's very sarcastic approach to this situation by saying undamage it. But whilst I was looking at our friend over there, I've used the last of my ammo. So I'm starting to make my way back to base. Although I'm not going to get back to my base because my team has pretty much cleaned up from here. He puts it in chat there, fucker, or I would have been better than you, fucking Grand Panda. Number 1, I saved your life. Number 2, you're a prick. And number 3, you did fuck all. So go fuck yourself, is all I'll say. I put in chat, I hope your ass at altitude, you ignorant twat. And, well, that is a perfect way to end this video. Frickin' Rommel Bellend. So he's your Batman, completely fucking useless to the team, trying to be a Rommel, and I think it's fair to say that karma struck him very nicely. He does it Spade, and his overall stat card is pretty much what you would expect from an average player, and yet he thinks he can be a Rommel sort of character. No, you can't. And your tank stats aren't exactly great either. I mean, he even sucks in some of the more overpowered tanks at the BRs that they have. But yeah, the Ki-84 Otsu, nice aircraft. It's just those cannons, they're a bit limiting. And that's why I'm dreading the Hay, because obviously it's 6.3, and I might see P80s in it. Well, they now call them F80s, but even so. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's video on the Ki-84 Otsu, and I will catch you all on the next one.